Hello everybody and welcome back to the Long Cog channel. If you're new here, welcome to the Long Cog channel. And today's video is going to be an iceberg about Marcus Whitman. If you guys don't know what an iceberg video is, it is a form of information sorting where the most well-known stuff is at the top of the iceberg and the least known stuff is at the bottom of the iceberg. Let's get into it. Marcus Whitman. Marcus Whitman is the school this video is about. It's located in the middle of nowhere and is generally a pretty boring place to be. Sports teams are trash. It's well known that almost universally all of Marcus Whitman's sports teams are garbage. Football, lacrosse, basketball, they all suck. Really, the only exception is track. Terrible teachers. Marcus Whitman has some horrendous teachers that straight up damage a kid's ability to learn. A notable example would be Mr. Gibbs, who was a former math teacher and would do anything but teach us math. Great guy, but a horrible teacher. Football staff Vigil AI. The varsity football team coaching staff is horrific. It has led to the team failing every year that they have been there, and the players especially were not happy. The players, throughout the season, would make Vigil AI videos, a tool where you can map people onto other people in videos, and they would do this to their coaches in various memes, and then after the season, they then release them to the public on TikTok. Troy. Troy is a student at Marcus Whitman who has been featured in my videos before. An example would be the Christmas special. He's a troubled kid who is infamous for being one of the worst students teachers have ever had to deal with. He has been involved in multiple incidents which are later included on this list, and used to terrorize teachers. Xavier eating AirPods. Xavier is an odd kid who attends Marcus Whitman and, along with multiple other things, is known for shoving his AirPods into his mouth and yelling, "Pizza!" He then spits the AirPods out of his mouth and acts like nothing happened. Class of 2024. The class of 2024 is commonly noted as one of the worst class the school has ever seen. Teachers often compare them to the class of 2027 with how bad their behavior is, but the 2024 class would get into trouble almost every day and were some of the worst students ever. Ice room incident. The ice room incident was a controversy involving two students at Marcus Whitman alleged to be cousins during the year 2022. Some could guess where this is going, but they allegedly had sex in the room where the frozen stuff was being held, and ever since then, the room has been locked and no one is allowed in there. Freshman lurk artist. We all know super seniors and their relationship with freshmen as kind of a joke thing, right? Well, this one is real. A senior at Marcus Whitman has only dated freshmen ever since he got into high school. I don't think I've ever seen him with anyone other than a freshman, and he's always lurking. So if you're a freshman, look out, he could get to you. Wish I had a controller. This legendary quote is well known from a former coach who coached the JV basketball team maybe a year or two back. Almost every game it was reported during halftime that he would wish he had a controller to play as the players so that they could win. The team was absolutely horrendous, so the frustration was immense and understandable, but still a funny quote regardless. Poughkeepsie boy. A former student at Whitman, if you could even call him that, Owen was amongst the likes of Troy in terms of being a student and the amount of trouble he got in. However, he was much less well known and did a lot of questionable things. Not saying that Troy is exempt from questionable things, but the scaling is a little bit different here. One day he was reported missing and said he was going to go to Poughkeepsie and was on quote-unquote demon timing. And no one ever really knows if he made it to Poughkeepsie, but what we do know is he went demon timing on a girl somewhere around there and at that time and ended up getting her pregnant. So yeah, prayers up for that kid. Parker on the ground theory. This theory states that whenever Parker plays in a basketball game, you will always find him either bearing a 3 like a tough white boy should, or on the ground. There is no in between, it's always one or the other. No one knows exactly how he ends up on the ground. Some speculate it's just fear, it's his aura of him, just playing, bearing 3s that he has to fall down because otherwise his aura would just max out. But that's just one of my personal theories. No one really knows what strategic advantage this gives him, but he is tough, undoubtedly. Miss Kasuda TikTok. Some students found a teacher's TikTok account where she was posting some rather inappropriate content. And as a teacher for the high school, nobody expected this type of behavior, although she is quite young. The word got to her somehow that students had found it, and she then promptly deleted the TikToks or the account entirely. I'm not too sure. Mr. Mirez. Mr. Mirez is a former teacher for Marcus Whitman and has been cited by multiple classes of kids for his weird behavior towards students and unprofessional behavior in classes. He allegedly would look down girls' shirts and act strangely towards girls in his class. He would also argue with his wife on the phone during class and divorce her, while also playing videos that featured inappropriate content for kids at the 7th grade level. I remember one time I was shown a titty in that class on a video that he was playing. Just despicable stuff, I gotta say. He eventually got fired for one reason or another. Some say it was because he was caught with weed, because he would show up to class high too. Others say it was because of the odd behavior towards students, but no one really knows for sure. Troy's a gooner. Troy's been caught on multiple occasions with multiple tabs of inappropriate content on his phone, some of which even occurring at friends' houses, which would be featured later on in this video, and up to 300 tabs on his Xbox. I don't think I need to elaborate further. N-word boy. After school, a kid was at the bus loop and some girls were messing around with him and harassing him. After telling him to go away multiple times, the alleged N-word boy would proceed to scream the N-word at the top of his lungs for the whole world to hear. Needless to say, it was a quiet bus ride after that. Is that a blunt? This entry has more to do with Mr. Ayer's very apparent anger issues and the multiple incidents to do with that. But, however, what this entry refers to is a incident where a political cartoon was on the smartboard, and Troy asked if the character in the political cartoon was holding a blunt. Mr. Ayers did not take this very well and proceeded to crash out. He threw markers and yelled very loudly before leaving the room. Another incident involved him ripping the phone off of his wall because he did not like being interrupted while teaching. The Michelle meal. This was an abomination that was made by students as a statement against Michelle Obama, who many credit for the poor quality of school food. The ingredients were, from the looks of it, pineapple, mystery meat, and I can't imagine what the liquid is. Blake pooped himself. In the 8th grade, towards the end of the year, a student known as Blake drank a lot of water. Way too much. As a result, when he was walking in the hallway, he pooped himself, for lack of a better term, and proceeded to make a 180-degree turn in the hallway to the nearest bathroom, where he would then drop his drawers in the trash and go about his day. Unbelievable work. Mr. Mira's speech. Mr. Mira's, as mentioned before, was giving a speech regarding the dean of students at the time leaving the school. What would have been a heartfelt goodbye, and for many emotionally touching, it appears Mr. Mira's had something else on his mind, and would proceed to say that Mr. Lopez, the dean of students, touched so many kids over the years. Not a good look, Mr. Mira's. I don't know what you were thinking about. Troy Jaden sleepover incident. You know how I mentioned Troy was a gooner? Well, this is what I was talking about. When he was sleeping over at his friend's house, he was in the bathroom gooning while his friend was asleep. And we know this because we checked his search history and, well, the time aligns. Yeah, I know. This is pretty bad. Blake IG Live incident. This was in 2023, and as briefly mentioned before, this involved the former teacher, Mr. Gibbs. Blake decided to go on Instagram and do a live stream in school during his study hall. Mr. Gibbs, who already had a pretty short fuse, found out about this because a student got a notification and put the live stream on his phone. Mr. Gibbs would then proceed to go over to the room Blake was in, and the words, "Blake, phone, now," were said before the live was abruptly cut short. Porter and Troy BLM bus. On a bus ride way back in 2022, two students did the BLM sign on the bus, and the bus driver did not like that at all for whatever reason, kicking them off the bus and forcing them to talk to the bus management people about proper behavior on the bus. Parker Xbox incident. A student was allegedly caught with inappropriate pictures of Madison Beer on his Xbox by multiple witnesses. Although I don't have too much information on this entry, I can tell you that this is just down bad behavior, and he never really admitted to it, always blaming it on different parties. David Jerk at Homeco. Allegedly, David was caught slapping salami at the homecoming dance in the bathroom one year. But take this with a grain of salt, as the information doesn't come from a reliable source. 7. The legendary 7 nickname was a reference to the 7 guys a student allegedly admitted to having sex with, although later, when it was brought up, claimed it was a joke. Gavin's Spanish 1 incident. The Spanish 1 classroom was like a fever dream every day. We didn't have a teacher, and anything would fly, including books. One of these books hit a student, and in response, the student picked up his Chromebook and smashed it over the kid's head who threw the book. The substitute didn't even bat an eye, mainly because all the substitutes are geriatric and can't see or hear anything, but the force actually bent the Chromebook slightly, and no one was actually really hurt, so Hunter Pocket Pussy. Sometime in late 2024 or early 2025, a student posted a picture of his setup with the caption, "Arcade mode kinda tough," referring to the game he was playing. What he didn't know, however, was that the picture he took actually included what was presumably his sex toy. I don't even know why you would have that in the first place as a kid, but it's gross. I don't know what you were thinking. Nathan jerking. Surprise, surprise, another disgusting act from a student at Marcus Whitman. This former student was allegedly caught pulling his pork under a library table. Unbelievable. Kinda ironic considering. This is a quote from the former dean of students when talking to Troy about his behavior. Troy was allegedly making fun of an autistic kid on the bus, and when asked about it by Mr. Lopez, the dean of students, Mr. Lopez said, You're making fun of special needs kids, which is kind of ironic considering before the door was shut and no more was heard. Blake cracks anyone. As the entry title suggests, a student at Marcus Whitman is relatively known for cracking anyone and everyone. To be honest with you, just my opinion here, it's disgusting behavior, especially from someone who claims to be a Christian. Blake Fruitbowl. A student was allegedly on a FaceTime call with his friends when suddenly the friends looked at Blake's camera and to their horror, Blake was fruit bowling. If you don't know what a fruit bowl is, go to Urban Dictionary and you'll find out. We them boys! These lyrics used to haunt the members of the JV basketball team. Every practice without fail, these lyrics would play in the speakers. You would look at them and they would appear shell-shocked. 2020 banner. Another sleeper agent activation code for members of the JV basketball team. The coach would always bring up the 2020 team that he was on and how great they were, while the JV team was probably down 72-0. Mr. Anthony Love Letter. A love letter was found on the stairs in middle school between two teachers. Interesting, but nothing really came of it. Coach sold Zins to minors. At Marcus Whitman, there's a pretty big nicotine problem. You used to find Zins in the bathroom urinals all the time. You would find Zin canisters on the bus. You would find Zins stored up in the ceiling tiles. But nobody knew that it was this bad. As a coach at Marcus Whitman, also coaching the lacrosse team and the JV basketball team, was selling Zins to his players. Of course, once the school found out, they fired him. Thank you for watching today's video. Thank you for watching the video. It took a while for me to make it, so I would appreciate it if you dropped a like, maybe subscribed if you really enjoyed it, if you thought it was more information. Okay. Thank you for watching today's video. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for watching the video, and if you found it enjoyable, if you found it informational, then please consider dropping a like, maybe even subscribing. It costs nothing, it's free, and you can always unsubscribe if you find the content on this channel not worthy. With that being said, boys, I would like to, with that being said, guys, want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving, and maybe a video will drop there, maybe it won't, who knows. Yeah. Thank you, boys. Thank you guys for watching, sticking to the end of the video. I would like to thank you all for watching, and if you found this video informational or you liked it, you thought it was funny, maybe consider dropping a like or subscribing if you really want to. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found it enjoyable or if you liked it, then consider dropping a like, maybe even subscribing if you enjoyed it that much and you want to see more of this type of content. It's a way to let me know. I know around 50% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so get on that.